Thank you for taking a few minutes to watch this video. If you find this content interesting or valuable, I invite you to subscribe to the channel to join us for future videos. I would also love to hear your opinions, ideas, or suggestions in the comments, as they help us continue to grow and create increasingly interesting material for all of you. Again, thank you so much for being here. It all started one night that seemed completely normal. After a soccer game, my husband came home accompanied by two men I had never seen before. What happened that night forever changed the way I understood many things. Throughout this story, a series of events unfolded that sowed a sense of doubt and uncertainty in everyone present. My husband had always been a calm person. He never showed sudden mood swings or strange behavior. He was someone who valued stability and simplicity above all else. For years, I thought our relationship was solid and transparent, although today, I'm not so sure anymore. After so much time together, I never imagined he could keep something so important to himself. Our life followed a fairly typical routine. During the day, we each fulfilled our responsibilities, and in the evenings, we shared quiet moments at home. Like almost every Saturday, that night he went out to play soccer with his friends, to relax and unwind. I stayed home, unaware that something out of the ordinary was about to happen. However, when he returned, he wasn't alone. With him were Adrian and Pablo, two men I didn't know at all. My husband seemed particularly animated as he introduced them to me. I tried to remember if he had ever mentioned their names, but I couldn't recall them clearly. Although they both seemed like normal, friendly people, there was something in the air that felt off. I couldn't quite explain it, but there was a feeling that was hard to ignore, as if something wasn't quite right. It wasn't usual for him to bring guests home after a game, so I decided to simply observe. I greeted them warmly, and they all started a light conversation. Shortly after, I stepped aside to finish some pending tasks. Despite that strange feeling that lingered, everything seemed to be proceeding normally. What I didn't imagine was that the next few hours would make me question not only my marriage, but also my own decisions. I prepared some drinks and returned to the living room. That's when my husband's demeanor caught my attention. He was unusually lively, more cheerful than usual. I thought he was simply enjoying the company of his new friends. I sat next to him as the three of them talked about soccer and joked about the match. Up to that point, nothing seemed particularly odd. However, that feeling of unease continued to grow within me. I couldn't tell if it was the way he spoke, his gestures, or the general energy of the moment. I even noticed the occasional glances he cast in my direction, as if he were waiting for a reaction. I tried to ignore it and think he was simply in a good mood, but everything changed in a matter of seconds. Unexpectedly, my husband interrupted the conversation with a phrase that left me completely bewildered. He looked at Pablo, smiled, and said, "Pablo, don't you think Alana could have a very interesting conversation tonight?" I felt like time stopped. The sounds of the room vanished, the laughter died away, the voices faded. Everything was suspended in the air. I tried to process what I had just heard. Had I heard correctly? Was it a joke? I immediately looked for some sign on my husband's face, hoping he would smile or clarify that it was a harmless comment. But he didn't. His expression was completely serious. There was no irony, no trace of humor. His eyes remained fixed on Pablo, waiting for a response. Pablo, for his part, seemed bewildered, holding his glass without reacting. Adrian avoided eye contact and stared at the floor. In a matter of seconds, the atmosphere changed completely. The tension became palpable. I didn't know whether to feel anger, confusion, or worry. All I knew for sure was that I needed an explanation. Just when I thought the situation couldn't get any more awkward, my husband added something else, completely calmly. "Of course." I felt a knot in my stomach. He wasn't joking. He meant it, as if there were a hidden meaning only he understood. The silence that followed was unbearable. No one spoke. No one knew how to react. I kept trying to figure out what was happening, while a flood of questions filled my mind. Why had he said something like that? What was really going on? Was it some kind of game? Just when I thought the situation couldn't get any more awkward,